Good morning. We're here with Kirklees local TV from Huddersfield. It's an honour to actually have some sort of media attention and for Kirklees local TV to actually step into the breach. It's going to push us where we need to be. I'm Horrace. I'm the chairman of the West Indian project, and it talks about 500 years of West Indian history that belongs in British history. And what we're trying to do is to get it back where it belongs, to integrate it, and to make sure everybody understands how valuable each other is to one another. And it's a long way to go, but we're nearly there. And with Kirklees local TV, we're hoping to put another step on another run of another ladder. Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. Quite well, thank you very much. With the exception of the weather that keeps me alive, put it that way.
There you go, sir. Sorry to take it back a bit. We are going to go way back, I'm sorry to say. Along foot with men from the West Indies in the 1939 onwards, you decided that you would join the war effort. And that was about 1943, is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
How did you get into it? Were you interviewed by the RAF?
What had happened, the British government stated they needed young people from the West Indies, on the whole, including Trinidad, where I'm from, decided that they'll try and get some young blood in the forces. And of course, my grandfather was a Scotchman, as a matter of fact, and I knew a heck of a lot about England and wanted to see England. Therefore, opportunity arises, you had to take an exam, which I did. And the next thing I know that I completed a form and was privileged to join the Royal Forces.
I mean, what a wonderful word that you're using it. I mean, privilege. We're talking about not even being recruited, none of that. You actually went and actually signed the form yourself?
That's right, oh yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't tell your parents at the time?
I know that my parents would be interested. And I know my parents, as I said, my grandparents, which was a Scotsman, worked with the British government on the railways in the island. I know they would not object, so it was an easy access to me, having to join at the time. To join the Royal Air Force.
So we're now going to sort of go a little bit deeper, I hope you don't mind. One of the reasons for this interview is that people will say to you, what did you do in the war? Right. But they won't ask you, how did you get to the war? I mean, you're in the West Indies, right? The war's taking place in Europe, right? People don't even understand that the Germans were actually attacking the West Indies.
Correct.
In the West Indies.
Correct.
For actually defending Britain, sending goods, sending products, sending materials, right? So you guys are already in the war. Yeah. At night time, you had to have blackouts, you know what I mean? Because the submarines were operating. So now, all of a sudden, you signed on. Right. You're now going to get yourself on board a ship.
It was the Cuba, I think it was.
So you're now on this ship. You're going to pick it up in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. And we started in Trinidad and Tobago, and we went among the smaller islands like Grenada, all the various. This is a West Indian thing anyway. Mm-hmm. And Jamaica we ended up, and from there we went to America, which was Camp Patrick Henry. That's one of the southern states of America. That was our first training place.
So it then goes around all these islands, right? Yeah. Which are all equated to or belong to the British Empire at that time.
That's right.
Yeah, and then later would become the Commonwealth. You're now meeting more and more people of West Indian descent who are British citizens.
They all are.
Yeah. Your passport was
British passport.
Yeah. So not only were you privileged to fight for Britain, you were actually a British citizen who's now over 4,000 miles away. Correct. And now you're going to come to the source of the actual battle. here in Europe. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So you now end up in Fort Patrick. Is that correct, sir?
Camp Patrick Henry.
Camp Patrick Henry.
Yeah.
In the United States.
Yeah.
The ship then docks there for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're taking on more. This time you're taking on more Americans now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the ship is full of West Indians at that point.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Well, the thing about it, as you know, British are British, and British, that's all we knew at that time. While in America, the system of restriction of black and white, discrimination, we coped to a certain extent. We wasn't half of it we wasn't pleased as such, but we got by. And
so you get off the ship, you're mingling with Americans, right?
Right.
And then a few days later, you're going to get back on the ship. That's correct, sir?
That is correct.
And the ship's then going to take you directly to Liverpool,
Liverpool, that's
UK.
Yeah.
And at that point, you know that those ships could be attacked at any time.
oh, this is at night especially, we normally been given the normal. That if there's an attack, it's going to be at night. Although as you were supported all along to Britain by the Navy, in other words, ships as well. That was a fearsome of protection, in the sense that if the German submarines, that the British government could do something about it.
So, because I spoke to a mate of yours so many, many years ago, Benjamin Reed, he described a similar story to me.
Yeah.
Well, journey, shall we say.
Right.
And that the ships, these troop ship carriers,
Yeah.
were taking West Indians and Americans across the Atlantic,
Yeah.
and they were guarded by Royal Navy battleships.
That is correct. That is
so you had this official escort that would
At
take
night,
you,
especially.
yes, right across the ocean,
Right.
and to basically making sure that you arrive safely.
Safely.
I mean, how did you feel when you seen your first battleship out there?
How did I feel? Proud, number one. Protected, number two. And hoping for the best. Again, feeling proud to be privileged by such.
Yeah, and isn't that great to know that you're going to actually help Britain in the war, and they're making all this effort to make sure you get there safely.
Yeah, correct.
So you now arrive in Liverpool.
Right.
Where did you go after that, please?
We went to a place by the name of Hummonbymore Filey, where we did our square bashing, more or less.
Could you explain what square bashing is?
It's a form of giving us a full report of what's it like being in the army, training, exercises, and the use of various weapons, things like that.
So can I use a word, making sure that you're coordinated?
Quite coordinated.
You will be able to follow instructions.
Correct.
Yeah, and you'll be able to march in a straight line.
Correct. Oh, that the very important thing, being able to march. Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, the disciplines, it's a form of discipline.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. You were assigned to requisitions and equipment. This would be where you're working alongside civilians,
Yeah.
but the civilians weren't allowed to join the military because their role was so important.
Yeah.
So you guys had to make sure that you could coordinate with them. Is that correct, sir?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
So the job will be done. So anything that the military required had to go through these sort of lines.
Correct.
Is that right, sir?
Correct, yeah.
Now, when you got what would you got posted to this sort of equipment and units.
Assistant, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, from there, after you finish your square bashing, as I put it, you go to what you call it like a trade system. And the trade system was various parts of the country. The one I went to was at Kirkham. And again, we had the military, the forces, obviously, the big RAF station, where they did mechanics, like driving and stuff like that, equipment assistance. They had various trades. You go on these trades, they last about 4 or 5 weeks. And then you are posted to various parts of the country to start doing the job that you were prepared for.
So basically, if you don't mind me summing it up here,
Go on.
you were actually the backbone of the military.
If you want
You call it, if you want to call it that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. But what I'm trying to say, if you did not supply what was required for the military to do the fight,
Right.
they would not be in a position to
Carry
actually carry on.
That's
And how do you feel about that?
Well, I was here to do a job. End of story. I was here to do a job, and provided I did it satisfactorily, which our officers made sure we had to do, no problem at all.
Fantastic, sir. I mean, you ended up at the RAF Woodcote, Goring Heath in Oxfordshire.
Yeah.
Can you give us some more, your duties? You said that you were doing, you obviously did the training to do the equipment training.
That's right. Oh, yes, you had to.
Yeah, and then you did, you could be a security detail at any one time.
In those days, no, this is the thing I can't understand nowadays. When I look at the RAF today, I look around, and in my days, we carried guns. We had guns, and we marched with guns and things like that. You part of your duty, security, you're there. But nowadays, the RAF, I haven't seen, and it starts making you wonder, are you dreaming? You know what I mean?
do you, I mean, obviously you were in a period of war at then, so you had to be at the ready at any one time. So, you had to be, like you said, you went and you did how to shoot a gun. Yeah. You had to do target practice, you had to do security, and you had to do all of that as well. And you would then actually put in a position where you could actually help the war effort in such a way.
You could be called up and sent anywhere.
Yeah, there you go, mate. So for me, I mean, as this story is evolving, this journey is evolving, you're evolving, we've seen you going along from, this is 1943, remember the war started in 1939, sorry.
39.
And West Indians were already coming over and joining the war effort at that time. You were actually not allowed because you weren't old enough at that point.
No, I was only 18 and a half.
But you joined when you joined, and that's all that matters. So you get moved around quite a lot, didn't you?
Correct.
So you're now in RAF, is it Exon, Staffordshire?
My job then was all over the mostly maintenance unit. But like everything else, you go to these station and you've been anything to be done is done. ACHGD, anything like that. Any work need doing, you can be called upon. The warrant officer, his duty, things like that. So that's about it.
Well, it's not about it, because at the end of the day, you now say that, I presume it's the first time you ever seen a helicopter, where that was true, because the roads are so dangerous to drive. Would that be reasonable to say the materials, the equipment, the whatever you're repairing is now coming in by helicopters?
By helicopter.
Yeah. So is that the first time you've seen a helicopter?
Yeah.
I mean, did you stop and look? When you're supposed to be carrying stuff.
I did, surprisingly, but again, this is a new country to me, and any form of new invention was lovely to see.
Fantastic. I mean, you get a rank now, don't you? You become a...
Well, and by the way, I must mention that I did a lot of athletics, and with my athletics, I did a heck of for the forces, in a sense. They want a representative. In those days, we had sports in this country, athletics, and I always take part. And I was like, they made me a sergeant eventually, you know.
So when did the athletics take sort of commence? Would you say, was it a year after you joined? Or?
Well, I've always been an athlete.
Yeah,
I've
well,
always given
RAF.
Yeah. Oh yes, when you settle in, you know what you're doing, that sort of thing. That is correct, yeah.
So how was that put to you? Did you say, is there any athletes here? Anybody want to do boxing?
Oh, if you remember, if it was traced back, we had the great MacDonald Bailey in those days. You know, the great Arthur Wint in those days, and you know, so you know, it was privileged to know that I was one of those international in those days.
So that's incredible, isn't it? A war's going on,
Yeah.
and when they believe it's quiet,
Yeah.
then they supply some sort of entertainment, some sort of
they've always been.
relief to relieve the pressure and the.
Well, if I find the forces have already done that. They don't, as you got so much on your plate at the time that they try to ease by having the various sports, entertainment, you know, to keep you going.
Okay. Your job as a sergeant was to rubber stamp jobs. So a job will come in, something to be fixed. You look at it and you would give it that seal of approval. Is that correct?
Well, I'll definitely. That's my job.
So without you rubber stamping that thing, that job may never finish.
Oh, don't say that, for heaven's sake, no. Oh, it will be finished by somebody. No, I disagree there. Because in the forces, nothing like that. It have to be done,
We understand that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you then, I don't know if I'm going to jump too far here, but if a plane came in,
Yeah.
it was damaged,
Yeah.
your team
Yeah.
would then assess the damage.
That's right.
And it allows you to find the necessary form to make sure whatever it is.
So whatever repairs that was needed
Yeah.
on that plane
Have to be done.
have to be done.
The form have to be produced.
Yes.
That's it, yeah.
And then once you rubber stamp that form,
Yeah.
that plane gets prepared, gets repaired, and then it's back in the air. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct. Yeah.
What was the time schedule for that?
Oh, you haven't got a time schedule. It got to... No, you haven't got a time schedule. The job just have to be done
Okay.
as quick as possible, regardless.
So, if I ask then, that plane has got to be turned around in a certain time, like 24 hours?
That would be on... nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
The bigger boss will... That's their job. That isn't my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the plane will come in, it's damaged,
Yeah.
it's assessed,
Form the necessary.
yeah, you
Form the access and
bang,
bang.
and it's repaired and
Yeah.
it's back in the water.
That's the duty of the officer.
Yeah, oh my gosh, man. I mean, that's a big responsibility, isn't it?
Well,
Or was.
it's a job. So that's what it's all about.
Is that? I mean, for us to hear what you've done and what your colleagues have done, that generation that done, you know, for us it's awesome, you know. But for you guys, it's just like
It's a job.
a day.
That's what you're there for.
A day at the factory. I mean, it's incredible. But thank you for that, sir. I mean, really. I mean, we're just impressed, and you know, sometimes we don't express that enough to your generation, to say what you've done. And for those who are following your footsteps, need to know this information, and that's the reason why we're here today.
Oh.
All right. So now it's the end of the war, sir.
Right.
Your final posting is gonna end you up where? Your final posting, once the war is done,
Right.
your posting is to RAF Burton. What is that, sir?
All right. The government, with the bright ideas at that time, decided before you go back into Civic Street, they decide on your trade before you came in to make sure when you go back you're up to date, sort of thing. So I went to Burton Wood, and that's where I met my wife, the girl. And I went to in Warrington, which is Burtonwood. I met this girl, and she was, in those days, she did shorthand typing and sort of thing. She teaches sort of thing. And my trade was I worked with the Trinidad and Tobago printing office. So I had to be able to do the same thing, sort of thing. And they gave you the necessary, again, try and bring you up to scratch, sort of thing. And before you leave the forces.
So basically, you retrained.
To a certain extent, yeah.
And for you,
preparation,
you already had the skill.
Yeah.
So you could either enhance the skill or get another skill.
Yeah.
Is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
Okay, so we're now in the actual realms of you deciding that you're courting. Is that correct, sir?
I didn't know you called it that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you've seen this lovely young lady. Her name was Mary, and But the only trouble is would it be fair to say that the West Indians were encouraged to go back?
Oh, well, I can't answer that one. The war over and everybody wanted to go back home, feeling pleased for what they have done, sort of thing. But the government, they were quite good in the sense that before you go back, they're going to put you back in your old trade. So when you get there, it is new, so you're more or less up to date with what's going on.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because again, the information that we're getting is the opposite, you know what I mean? Some people were encouraged to go back, you know what I mean?
Right.
But really and truly, we had the choice to stay here or to go back. Now, you are in the pre-Windrush period now, because Windrush hasn't even happened yet.
No.
You've now gone back to the West Indies.
Yeah.
And did you get your old job back?
Oh yes, it was waiting for you. You left the job there. You go back direct. Oh yeah, but I expected more than they offered me, and I thought to hell with this. Instead of that, I came back because I knew the opportunity here was bigger and greater, and I came back. Got married then. This was in 1950. I got married then. Lived in a place in Oldbury, Wolverhampton New Road. There was a big place there, and the name of the firm was Ackers and Pollocks. It's today called Tube Investment.
Yeah, it was a big company there. Yeah.
I worked in the laboratory there, testing again, and then from there I went. I even went with another company that they were building the M1 then, doing the M1. And I did also I did some work with them in this and testing the concrete, stress and strain of the concrete, the mixture and things like that for a while. And I even went to the BSA, worked for the BSA for a bit, and ended up with the post office. And the reason for that was, in those days, there were so many bloody strikes in Birmingham. And I wanted something, and my parents have always said, you get a permanent job, a government job, where you get a pension in your old age. And I ended up with the post office, and it was telecommunications sort of thing. And immediately when they brought in computers and things like that, they were, again, ask you whether you want to stay with the post office or would you want to go to, stay with the, what side you want to go. And I say, I'll go back to the post office instead of staying with the computer, with the telecommunication. And that was the advice I was given. And went there for a while. And I ended up at in Acock Green as a manager, as an area manager.
So is it 1947?
Around
you,
that.
You took BOAC Airlines and came back to Britain. Did you come by plane?
I came on no, not British Airways, Trinidad Airline.
Was it Trinidad Airlines?
Oh, yeah.
And where did they take you to?
Oh, damn it, where did the hell did I end up?
Did they take you to like America or something like that? And you
Oh,
got
no,
to-
no, we
Came direct?
direct, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, oh
All
yeah,
right.
we came
So that was. So what I'm trying to say is that's 1947. This is pre-1948. That West Indians who had served mainly, went back to the West Indies,
Yeah.
and then
Some
came.
of us,
yeah,
a lot of us,
yeah,
some of us came back. Yeah.
and came back. Well, at the same time, many of them did not return
Oh,
straight
no.
away. They actually helped to build the country at that point.
Right.
And is that was that a big influence on you? That Britain needed rebuilding, Britain needed
Well,
rethinking?
yes, but again, with the technicians and with technology as it is, I take it for granted. Britain got to know how. And as you said, I know a lot of people, friends came back and work, and places like the hospital, on the roads,
Well, the major companies.
Major-
were there,
yeah.
British. Well, it wasn't called British Land; it was called Leyland or Austin
That's right,
or
yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean, just to help people understand a little bit, before the post office business, it was called the GPO, correct?
GPO,
Yeah. And then the government decided to split it.
yeah.
Yeah, and the BT, which is the communication side, was going
That's
to go
right,
to one
BT.
side, and the new side was going to be the post office.
Post
side,
office.
yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And you then went to the post office
Post
side,
office side.
and you became an area
A
manager.
manager. Yeah.
Wow. And
I had about
20 years at Acock Green as a manager.
how many years total did you do in the post office?
I would, good God, I've got a list upstairs, but I know I've got something up there thanking me for at least 20 years.
Wow. So can I mean, we're going to sum up now. We'll just bring it to a close. As usual, it's brilliant being in your company. The question I was going to ask was a simple one. Would you do it all over again?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Oh, definitely. No problem there. On the whole, I've had a fantastic life. I've had a fantastic family life. My wife died on the 24th of February last year, 1925, which I'm 100 now, but nothing else I could do. I'm a lonely man. That's all I could say. I'm a lonely man.
Prince Albert Jacob,
Thank you very much.
thank you for your time, sir, and thank you for your service.
It's been a pleasure.
Mr. J, the experience that you've had is a unique experience, especially those in the West Indies. They would have heard about all these other countries, Barbados, but St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and
all the islands.
yeah, and of course, even on the mainland, you're talking about Guyana.
yes,
yeah.
round the corner.
So the question is,
Yeah.
when how many people of different countries did you meet before going on the ship, and how many people did you meet after going on the ship that you would encompass as the
I met, when I say I met, I've been to places like Barbados on holiday, but to turn around and say I've met people from Jamaica or Grenada and place, no. The first time I met them was on the boat, and it was a pleasure. Put it that way.
And how did you feel when you're meeting? You're going into a battle now, or you're going into a war. You're
Well-
on the way, and you're meeting all these people that you've heard about.
Yeah, but like everything else, we as West Indians, thank God, we tried to protect each other.
Wow.
The unity was there.